Okay, our last video we did the dead test cartridge on this unit, so today we're going to be starting the cleaning process of this. Remove the keys, do some retrobrighting on them, clean up the case. Really, it does not need much, if any, retrobright at all. So with that being said, I'm going to get started here with removing some keys. Alright, now time to see what we have under all this. So far, we're looking pretty darn good. Put that over there. Take this board out. And let you see. A little bit of dirt. Everything seems to be actually looking pretty darn good considering the age of this thing. Now, it was exposed to cigarette, so we will be washing this board down for sure. Probably do some capping just to clean those up and give it a little more life. Moving the shield here, it's actually in really good shape. Case, like I said earlier, I don't think it really needs any retrobright. We'll definitely wash it out. Top part still, again, minus some dirt. I don't see where it has any yellowing, so looks good on that. So I will set all this aside and the keyboard, forgot that one. Lots of dirt. So we will definitely be scrubbing that down, cleaning all that out. So where I'm going to start today though is these keys. They are pretty darn filthy. Springs, some of them do need a replacing. They're pretty, when I was going through taking them out, some of them were pretty stretched out. So yeah, we will replace some springs, add springs where needed, and definitely scrub these down and start the retrobright on that to bring back their color. So that's what we're gonna do next here. Gonna have to take this guy apart, and we will start by first removing the solder on the caps lock here. There's one. And there's two. All right. Oh, we got our caps lock connections free there. And now we can start working on these screws. Alright, all the screws are out and the board is removed. And actually, the plungers don't look bad at all. It's actually pretty clean in here. So I am going to pop them all out. And I'm going to pop them out over there into the solution I have the keys soaking in. In fact, I'll bring that over. And we're all going to take a big communal bath here. So there are keys, and away go our plungers. Oh, got a couple left behind. Cool. So now we can clean this part. So again, we're looking pretty good here on this, so set that aside. This guy's gonna go in the soak with our case parts over here. And here we have our plungers and keys just getting happy and soaking. I don't want to leave those plungers in there too long, but I do want to get the smoke and all that residue off of there. So we'll just let them soak here for a little bit. And yeah, that should be about it for right now. Oh, put a little cap over here so we don't lose our keyboard screws. Put that aside with all the others. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go fill up the bigger bin with my dish soap and the OxyClean. So we'll start that bath there. So all the cleaning is done. The shields came out clean. They were already clean to begin with, so that was a no-brainer there. This part of the keyboard is totally clean, dust-free, and ready to go. The actual keyboard connectors, I did scrub this down with the soap solution, but then went over it with some isopropyl alcohol to clean all the contacts, so that one's all taken care of too. The actual board itself, found something interesting, but as I'm going through, you can see here it is actually fairly clean prior to me scrubbing it out, and I did have to remove the solder off this shield here so we could get in there and properly dry that out. I did use the air compressor to blow out all the water after rinsing, and now it'll just let it air dry. But here is what I found. This is something I don't recall seeing before in my experience, and if you can look, I'll probably do a picture on it, but right there on this capacitor, it's a hole. Now, there was no bulging, no swelling of any kind, just a little hole. So that was interesting. So, as VW Caddy would say, cap it. We're going to be capping this board. Mainly because I was going to anyways, but this, I thought I could put it off, but this really got me going. So we're gonna cap this board. So the keys, they have been washed and rinsed, and you can see we still got the ugly discoloration on them. Let's see it on the function keys, not as bad because of their colors, but you look at this one, it's clear home key. There's the back side. Let me get a little bit more focus on there for you. The back side's looking good, but then as you go to the side and the front, that is the discoloration I'm hoping we can eliminate with some retrobrighting. And the space bar, as I turn it, yeah. So, how I'm gonna retrobright these is just gonna load these up into my bag, because I don't have to do a lot. I was going to do them in a tub, but just not worth it. Once we get these in here, we'll add some of our solution, a little bit of water, and let this go sit under the New Mexico sun. It's one thing we have plenty of. So from Sally, just using their volume peroxide solution. I've come to find this stuff works pretty well for me on projects when I mix it in water. So I'm going to just dump some of that in there. Let that dump some more in. And what we will do is fill this with some water, seal it up, and go put it in the sun, and away we go. Due to television magic, I got my water in there. You can see them floating around. Mix it up. Turns to a little, kind of like a milky white liquid. Get that all in there. All right. Now we'll let as much air out as possible. Carefully. Alrighty. So I will go put this out under the sun. Rotate it every so often. Give it a little pat like that, and hopefully we'll get some white keys out of this, or whiter. Get rid of a lot of that yellowing, I hope. Retrobright is complete. As you can see here, the keys look night and day different. I did go ahead and I did do a little retrobrighting to the case, just because when I originally put the keys back in place, they're not in permanently, they're just staged, but put them back in place and put the case on it to compare, you could see some yellowing with the case, but more importantly, my wife pointed it out walking through. So that's when you know you have to retrobright. Here's the bottom part of the case, and again, not a big change, but it is more of its natural color than what it was prior to having it in the Retrobright. I did not get any video of the Retrobright process, just a couple of pictures I snapped along the way, not much to really see other than the case is submerged in the water solution, and I did use a coat hanger to force the case down under the water because it kept trying to float to the top. And the keys, they soaked for probably the better part of the whole day, as did the case. And here is our end result. So that wraps up this episode, which is the cleaning of the computer and keyboard and keys, the retrobrighting of the case and the keys. In our next episode, I will get into replacing the capacitors, doing the assembly of the unit, and then we'll test it with that Pi 1541. So that'll do it on this one. I thank you for watching and hope you return for our next episode. In the meantime, you take care.